I don't know if you guys have realized it just yet, but it seems like every time Konami drops a set, a 3-strategy set, they have a penchant for making one of the strategies just inherently busted. Let me give you guys an example. The Secret Forces is a very powerful set. It was a really good set. Why? Because Ritual Beast and Yosenju did hold their own for quite some time. But what stole the show was the Necros archetype, because it was probably one of the most dominant forces in Yu-Gi-Oh! Hands down the best Ritual deck of all time, and possibly one of the better decks of all time, period. Let me give you guys another example. While Fusions and Fortunes did give us Predaplex, which didn't really go so well, and Fluffles, who didn't receive their best support card until now, the Invoked archetype has been very powerful, being able to summon Raging, being able to summon Makaba, being able to summon your Paraga Trio to your side of the field has been devastating, and it's a staple into the Yu-Gi-Oh! Format. Fast forward to now, this year, in February, we received the Dark Savior set, and while Furhires just received their Star Link card to give them a little bit of a boost, Vampires have fallen a little bit on their face. Sky Strikers have been a dominant force throughout the entirety of this year. Being able to have a strategy that is a clear home run in every single one of these sets give you a good idea on if you should buy this set. But today I'm going to be going in detail for you guys. I'm going to be revealing all of the cards that are new inside of this set and then tossing the reprints out to the side because, I mean, nobody really cares about those. We want to talk about the new cards and telling you if you guys should be investing into the set. I'm TheCaliEffect, and if you guys want to see more videos like this, then go and destroy that subscribe button. But more importantly, go ahead and that notification bell because, well, we just too strong. Also want to give a special thanks to every single one of my Patreons. Without you guys, videos like this would not be possible. I really do appreciate your continued support. Now, without further ado, I present to you a continuing series because you guys liked the last one. How good is Soul Fusions? And actually, the reprints are really good, but I mean, we'll talk about that a little later. Okay, so before I get into this video, I just have to say, who dat? 8 in a row? Can I get my who dats to post down below in the comment section? And if you guys aren't a who dat, it is not too late to be at least a who dat for the TheCaliEffect. I think that, man, we are doing a spectacular job so far. 8 in a row is pretty awesome. But back to what we were talking about inside of this Hidden Summoner set. It will debut this Friday, ladies and gentlemen. So this would be a good time to get a good look on all of the new cards and figure out if you guys should be investing. I want to start talking with the Nephthys archetype. Now, Nephthys is nothing new to Yu-Gi-Oh! Sacred Phoenix of Nephthys has been a card since a very long time, the Lost Millennium, if I'm correct. Now, this time around, they actually get a Ritual support. It's going to be really interesting to see how this deck develops. You get Nephthys, the Blazing Sacred Phoenix, a Link 3 monster for the Nephthys archetype. It requires 2 monsters, including a Ritual monster, which means essentially it requires 4 monsters. Or at least 3 monsters, because you have to give up a monster to summon a Ritual monster. I don't know how you're going to get that monster on the field other than that. It says, while this card is in the extra monster zone, your opponent cannot target Nephthys monsters in your main monster zone for attacks. This card gains effects based on the number of Ritual monsters used for its Link summon. If you use 1, it cannot be destroyed by battle. If you use 2, it gains 1200 attack, cannot be destroyed by card effects. If you use 3, it gains another 1200 attack and cannot be targeted by card effects. So this card has the potential to be 4800, non-targetable, non-destructible, and it's just a really powerful card. I mean, I think that it is a solid one-of inside of the set. Don't expect this card to be too expensive because I don't think that this is what the strategy is going to be built around. If I'm correct, the Nephthys archetype is going to be built around what Sacred Phoenix of Nephthys does, which is destruction and recursion, which is kind of something that Sacred Phoenixes should be about. I don't think that this will be the main card of the strategy, and I don't think that it'll be a very expensive card. But on to the next card. Let's talk about Nephthys, the Palladium Deity. Now, this card is a Link 2 monster. I can see this card being the more practical monster being played in the Nephthys archetype. It requires 2 Nephthys monsters, and if this card is Link Summon, you can activate one of these effects. Add 1 level 8 Ringed Beast monster from your deck to your hand, then you can add 1 Ritual spell card from your graveyard to your hand. That is powerful. Its next effect to destroy 1 Nephthys monster this card points to. And if you do special summon from your graveyard 1 Nephthys monster, with the original name of that monster, but negate its effects. With a different original name, my apologies. You can only use these effects of Nephthys Palladium Deity once per turn, and only once that turn. This card is the Big Daddy monster. This is the guy that you're going to want to go to the most because it has some really, really powerful effects, allowing you to search and recur, as well as being able to special summon or trigger your possible Nephthys monsters effects. Again, I've already explained to you guys that I think that the Nephthys archetype is going to be built around destruction, and this is my first view, ladies and gentlemen. This is just off of my top of my psychic head. On to the next card. Woo! Let's talk about this next card, ladies and gentlemen. Avatar of the Nephthys is a Ritual 2. Now, I do not like how Link monsters and Ritual monsters are all blue. I really thought that Link monster should have been red, but that's for a different time. Now, this card says you can Ritual summon this card with Rebirth the Nephthys. If this card is Ritual Summon, you can special summon one Nephthys monster from your deck. Also, destroy this card during your end phase. If this card is in your graveyard, you can destroy one Nephthys card in your hand. And if you do special summoning, you can only use the effect of Avatar of Nephthys once per turn. Huh. That's not good. That's not bad. I was going to say that's not good. But you can special summon a Nephthys monster from your deck, but destroy during your end phase. That's powerful. And then if it's in your graveyard, you can destroy one Nephthys card in your hand and special summon it. So, like, I think that this card is going to be the tutor. It's really easy to summon. It's a Ritual monster, really fast to get out. I think that this card is a 3-up. I think it's going to be really powerful. But the secret rare, you guys might need to get it. It might be one of the more important cards because it does so much for the deck. It allows you to tutor out Nephthys monsters, as well as bring itself back to the side of the field by destroying a Nephthys monster, which again is something that I figured that the deck would be about. Now, of course, Sacred Blue Phoenix of Nephthys is probably going to be the most powerful Nephthys monster in the deck because it is a level 8 Ritual monster, and it says you can Ritual summon this card with Rebirth the Nephthys. You can also use the effects of, you can only use each effects of Sacred Blue Phoenix of Nephthys once per turn. Now, I swear, if Pre-Prefinations of Rights works with this deck, it's busted. I don't care what you guys say, it is busted. This is the deck. I want to put this against Necros. That's how busted I think it is. And you know what? I might put it against Necros. That'd be really interesting to see, ladies and gentlemen. What you guys think? Necros versus Sacred Phoenixes? No, I think that'd be pretty fun. But it says, during your main phase, you can destroy Nephthys cards you control and or face up on your field. Wait, Nephthys cards... Oh, I'm sorry, in your hand or face up on your field, then destroy an equal number of monsters your opponent controls. That's a pretty good effect. During your next standby phase, after this card is destroyed by battle or card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon this card from your graveyard. That's pretty decent. I think that the monsters aren't necessarily going to carry them over, but maybe the spells and the ritual support that we receive will carry this deck over. But right now, it seems like it has all of the pieces in place. We just need that really, really busted card. I'm not seeing it just yet. Enlightened of Nephthys. You can target one level 4 or lower Nephthys monsters in your graveyard except Enlightened of the Nephthys. Destroy one card in your hand, and if you do, special summon that target in defense position, but negate its effects. During the standby phase of your next turn, after this card was destroyed by a card effect into your graveyard, you can special summon this card. You can only use the effect of Enlightened of Nephthys once per turn. That's, I don't know. Destroy one card and you can target one in your graveyard, destroy one card in your hand, and if you do, is it Nephthys card? You can target one level, destroy one card. Yeah, okay. That's not bad. I like that. I like that at all. I like that a lot. I like that. What is it with me saying all these weird cards? This is actually pretty decent. It allows you to destroy cards in your hand to special summon Nephthys monsters from your graveyard. I think it's a solid, maybe 2 of, maybe 3 of, but I'm saying 2 because this deck doesn't seem like to be able to jam pack cards in your graveyard, monsters in your graveyard. Now, Prayer of the Nephthys, during your main phase, you can destroy one card in your hand. If you do, add one Nephthys monster from your deck to your hand. Right there. That's the card that we need. That's the 3 of. If that's the secret rare, I pray for you guys because that is powerful. During your next standby phase of the turn this card was destroyed, and since your graveyard, you can add one Nephthys spell or trap card from your deck to your hand. That's pretty good. I like this card. I think that this is the best Nephthys monsters we've received so far. It's going to be a staple in the deck. It's going to be a 3 of. It's going to be the card that you need. And from what I can remember, if you guys can check on my TheCaliEffect page, it reveals all of the rarities for you guys. I think that that's a secret. So you're going to need 3. It might be a headache to get. Next is Speaker of the Nephthys. Says you can target one Nephthys card in your graveyard except Speaker of the Nephthys, destroy one card in your hand, and if you do, it seems like all of the Nephthys monsters have the ability to destroy monsters in your hand, so I'm just going to skip that. During the standby phase, after the turn this card is destroyed into the graveyard, you can add one Nephthys card from your graveyard to your hand. That's not bad. So I'm seeing a 3-2-2 ratio, 2 Speakers, 2 Enlightened, and 3 of the Prayer of Nephthys. I think that would be a good ratio just because of how the cards are built, and the other ones are a little bit more reliant on the graveyard unless you get a spell card that says destroy cards from your deck. This card, okay, so pre-prep doesn't seem to work with this because if I remember correctly, pre-prep checks the ritual spell and then adds the monster appropriately. Oh, wait, maybe I spoke too soon. Hold on. Hold up. Wait a minute. Let me put some pimpin' in it. So the ritual monster name is Avatar of the Nephthys and Sacred Blue of the Nephthys. Okay, so that might not work. Ritual of the Nephthys says if this card is ritual summon a monster, you contribute blah 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 to exceed. Then if you attributed Devotee or Cerulean, you can destroy one face-up card on the field. Pretty standard. So far the Nephthys, like, it doesn't really have a card that just pops to me right now. None of them pop to me. All of them seem really good, but they're missing that pop. Maybe we already have some ritual cards that I'm just not thinking of that pop, but it doesn't seem to work with pre-prep. Pre-prep is one of the most powerful cards in the game right now. I don't care what anybody says. That card's really good. Trading one card for two cards, especially if those two cards can help you get what you need, it's good. This card says it is Hope of Nephthys. Target one Nephthys card you control, one card your opponent controls, destroy them. This card is not good at all. I don't think it's good. Maybe a one of if you really need it. Awakening of the Nephthys. All Nephthys monsters you control gain 300 attack. If this face-up card in the spell and trap card zone is destroyed by a card effect is into the graveyard, you spell summon one Nephthys monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard by destroying it in your hand phase. That part that it says if this face up, that's unfortunate. Really unfortunate for the archetype, because that's no. Next is going to be Prank Kids, the Prank Kids archetype. Let me give my synopsis on the Nephthys. I think that the Nephthys feel really almost there, but I don't think that they're that busted archetype. Like, the more I look at them, I just can't connect the pieces just yet to make them uberly busted. But they do have some potential to be a very solid archetype. They're not like the Predaplants that we've had. They're not like the vampires who look decent but didn't really do enough. This deck seems to have things going for it. You know what I mean? I don't think that this would be a tier 1 deck, but I think it'll be a very fun deck to play, and I can't wait to play it. Let's just let me know down below in the comment section. Now, I didn't sort the Prank Kids out like I should have, but this is, from what I can recall, a Thunder archetype, which might set Thunder Dragons off the roof. I might see a Thunder Dragon Prank Kids archetype coming out, or decks coming out. That might be good, depending on what the Prank Kids do. Now, Prank Kids Pulse says if this card is in your graveyard as a fusion, if this card is sent to your graveyard as a fusion or link material for the summon of Prank Kids monster, you can send one Prank Kids card from your deck to your graveyard except Prank Kids Pulse. Then special summon one Prank Kids monster from your hand or deck in defense position except Prank Kids Pulse. So hold on. He is a level 1 1-for-1 target that if you send him to the graveyard for a link summon of a Prank Kids monster, arrows hopefully pointing down, you can summon another monster to summon Thunder Dragon from your deck to your side of the field. Prank Kids might be it, guys. Prank Kids might be it. Prank Kids Ramp. This card says if this card is sent to the graveyard as a fusion or link material, you can inflict 500 damage to your opponent. Then you can special summon one Prank Kids monster from your hand or deck in defense position. Okay. Prank Kids Drop says if this card is sent to the graveyard as a fusion link material, you can gain 1,000 life points, then special summon your Prank Kids monster from the... Wow. All right. Looks like Thunder Dragons finally found... I think I found it. I think I found that archetype that sets this over the roof, because this plus Thunder Dragons seems really, really good. Like, dumb good, ladies and gentlemen. I literally, if they're used as a link summon for the prank, only thing you need is a way to make the Prank Kids link monster, and you get a link plus a free Thunder Dragon Colossus, and then if the Prank Kids monster is Thunder, you can tribute it for another Thunder. It just seems like it adds so much synergy to the deck. The deck already doesn't need its normal summon, so just powering these out it's a little insane. Now, Prank Kids Rocket is a Pyro Fusion monster. That's unfortunate. If this card is Fusion Summoned, you can have this card lose 1,000 attack, and if you do, it can attack directly. You contribute this card and target 2 Prank Kids monsters in your graveyard with different names, except for Fusion monsters, special summon them, but they cannot attack this turn. I can live without it. Are all the Prank Kids Thunder? Let me make sure. Oh, wait, hold on. Timeout. All right, good. It's only one that's Thunder. All right, cool. Because if they were all Thunder, it would have been like, what are we doing? My apologies, they're not all Thunder. So maybe they're not. So Prank Kids Weather is if your Prank Kids monster attacks, your opponent cannot activate card or effects until the end of the damage step. During your opponent's turn, you can tribute this card, summon 2 Prank Kids from your graveyard with different names, except fusion monsters. They cannot be destroyed by battle this turn. Okay, so maybe I'm hyping up Prank Kids more than what they are. The Thunder Prank Kids monster requires all 3, unfortunately, instead of the other 2 just requiring 2 Prank Kids monsters. Prank Kids House Battle Butler. are they supposed to be? Oh, okay, they're kids with the butler now. Must be fusion summon. You contribute this card, destroy all monsters your opponent controls. If this card is in your possession, is sent to your graveyard by an opponent's card, you can target one monster in your graveyard except a fusion monster. Special summon it. By opponent's card. Target one monster in your graveyard except the fusion monster. And it requires all three? It's okay. I'm glad. Okay, so here is their Link monster. Prank Kids Doodle requires 2 Prank Kids monster. Man, I swear, if it said 1 Prank Kids monster plus another monster. This card is Link Summon. You can add 1 Prank Kids spell or trap card from your deck to your hand. You contribute this card and target 2 Prank Kids monsters in your graveyard, each with different names except Link monsters. Add them to your hand. This deck has a lot and a lot of like, it has a lot. Like, is this a Thunder? Is this a Thunder? No, it's a win. Oh, it's a Thunder. Oh my God. Prank Kids Doodle is a Thunder. Yeah. Prank Kids Thunder Dragon just might work. I think we found the archetype. Oh, sweet, they have a fire one. Prank Kids Bow Bow. It looks like all of the Prank Kids monster have a fusion monster and a Link monster. That's pretty cool. Prank Kids monsters you control gain 1,000 attack that this card points to. During your opponent's turn, you contribute this card, target 2 Prank Kids monster in your graveyard, except Link monsters, add them to your hand. Monster you control. Okay, you know what? I'm actually like respecting this. Oh, that's hella cool. Prank Kids Roar Dragon. This one should have been the Thunder. He looks hella cool. Must be Link Summon. You contribute this card, destroy all spell and trap cards your opponent controls. If this card is in your possession, it's sent to your graveyard by an opponent's card, target 1 card in your graveyard, except the Link monster, add it to your hand. Not bad. I think that the Prank Kids, oh wow, that's a 4. Wow, that is a 4. I think that Prank Kids will be able to help other decks, but I think right now, Cyber Dragons, or not Cyber, Thunder Dragons, Prank Kids House. When this card is activated, you can add 1 Prank Kids monster from your deck to your hand. Perfect. Once per turn, if you fusion summon a Prank Kids fusion monster, you can have all monsters you currently control gain 500 attack. Not good. Once per turn, if you Link summon a Prank Kids Link monster, you can have all monsters your opponent controls. I just like the activated added Prank Kids monster, and it's a reinforcement of the army that can be reinforced through your terraformings. Pretty solid. Prank Kids Prank. You can discard 1 Prank Kids card, special 1 Prank Kids token. Damn it, it's a fire. Which cannot be tributed. Oh, it didn't matter. It can be tributed. During your end phase, you can target 3 Prank Kids cards in your graveyard, shuffle it into your deck, and draw 1 card. You know, this Prank Kids archetype actually seems like a really good standalone archetype too. It really does, because you have this card that will allow you to Link Summon easier, and you also have the ability to shuffle them all to your deck, special summon Galore. I like this deck. I think this actually might be a good standalone. Prank Kids on the loose. During your main phase, fusion summon 1 Prank Kids. Why is it a quick? Why is it a quick play? Oh, during the main phase. So main phase 1, main phase 2, your opponent's main phase 1 and 2. Fusion summon 1 Prank Kids monster from your extra deck. Use a monster from your hand or fusion. For the rest of the turn, after this card resolves, you cannot normal summon a special set for Prank Kids. Whatever. That card's not good for Thunder Dragon. Operation Prank Kids, it better have a graveyard effect. During your main phase, you can immediately after this card resolves, Link summon 1 Prank Kids monster using Prank Kids monster you control. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, oh, pardon me, ladies and gentlemen, you can banish this card from your graveyard, shuffle any number of Prank Kids monsters, and if you do, monsters lose 100 attack, return this way. That's not good. That's okay, I guess. That is it for the Prank Kids archetype. In my opinion, I think that Prank Kids actually might be a little stronger than the Nephthys. Seriously, they might be a little stronger than the Nephthys. But this zombie, this Mayakashi will take the show, in my opinion. Might just take the show, because I know you guys have been saying, hey, TheCaliEffect, when are we going to get that zombie deck profile? The zombie structure deck, in my humble opinion, is trash. You could have already been able to extra link and do all that other stuff before the zombie structure deck, but that Mayakashi might put it over the top. We're going to start off with beautiful Mayakashi Daki, and again, these name changes, or these are before the name changes, so I'm not sure what they'll be called in TCG name. You can only control 1 beautiful Mayakashi Daki. When a Mayakashi monster is special summoned from the extra deck, while this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card. You cannot special summon you cannot special summon the extra deck during the turn you activate the set, except Mayakashi monsters. You cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck during the turn you activate this, except Mayakashi. Okay. Okay. That's pretty good. Level 2 tuner, decent. Let's see if they have a link. That'll be even better. Next is Poison Mayakashi Tsukahagi. You can only control one poison. Okay, that seems to be the theme. You can only control one. If your Mayakashi monster, except poison, is destroyed by battle or by an opponent's card effect while this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card. You cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck until you use this effect. Now, this is probably one of the best disappointing cards. Because it's a level 2 Earth zombie monster, meaning that Tamazuki target can make Notoria beast, but its effect is just so disappointing. Next, we have Winged Mayakashi Hajin, and just to take a quick look, they're all zombie monsters. I think this might be the very first wind zombie monster, but they're all zombie monsters with different attributes. If this card is normal summon or special summon, you can special summon Mayakashi monster from your deck. Oh, crap. You can only use this effect once per turn. You cannot special summon from the extra deck except for Mayakashi. Man, I hate that last text. But this guy is good. Being able to special summon one from your deck to your side of the field is pretty decent. Next is Ricksaw Mayakashi Shafu. And if this card is normal summon or special summon, you can target one Mayakashi monster in your graveyard, special summon in the defense position, but negate its effects. You can only use each effect once per turn. You cannot special summon from the extra deck except for Mayakashi. However you say this card's name. So it looks like this deck is pretty much stuck in being able to just summon themselves, which I don't really like, but it is what it is. This card is in your hand. You can discard one Mayakashi monster, special summon this card from your special summon this card. Please don't tell me that it's going to have that effect. Yep, it has that effect, and he locks himself to only a once per turn effect. To be honest with you guys, I think that this is probably the worst one. Hopefully the synchros pick up for it. You can only use this effect once per turn, or you can only control one, and you can only use each effect once per turn. If your synchro monster whose original level is destroyed by battle or a part in your graveyard, you can banish one zombie monster from your graveyard, special summon this card. If this card is special summoned from the graveyard, you can make your monsters unable to be destroyed by battle this turn. Is it a tuner at least? No, well, I guess, I don't know. This one seems, and I know there's like an OCG, there's some crazy cool combos. But this just doesn't seem really great. You can only control blah, blah, blah. If your synchro monster whose original level is 9 is destroyed by battle or card effect, while this card is in your graveyard, you can banish one zombie monster. When this card is special summoned, you can destroy one. Not good. This is not good so far. This is the level 9 guy. This might be the best card in the deck. One tuner plus one non-tuner monsters. You can only control one beautiful Mayakashi. Okay. If this card is synchro summon whose original level is destroyed. Oh my god. Special summon this card. If this card is special summon from your graveyard, you can destroy one monster your opponent control. He looks cool. And then there's Skeleto. He's the level 11. If a link monster you control is destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect while this card is in graveyard, you can banish one other zombie. This card is special summoned. You can make this card unaffected by other card effects this turn. And then there's a link monster, which requires two Mayakashi monsters. You can only control one Icicle Mayakashi Yukuno. While this card points to a synchro monster, monsters your opponent controls cannot target this card for attacks. If your synchro monster is destroyed by battle or by an opponent's card effect while this card is in your graveyard, you can target one face-up monster that has its attack and defense become half its current attack and defense. My humble opinion, I don't think it's good. I think that, I mean, and again, I've heard so many great things about this archetype, but I'm not seeing it, especially the restriction. If they didn't have that restriction, oh yeah, I can see it. But the restriction, I might just need to do some research because I'm not feeling it. If you ask me between all three of these archetypes, I think prank kits are going to be the dominant archetype. And as far as reprints go, you guys are going to be excited to hear about the reprints. Gold Sarcophagus as a secret rare. That's pretty saucy. I'm like this close to getting a Gold Sarcophagus myself. Then there's also Ultra Polymerization, Preparation of the Rites, Shiranui Spectral Sword as a super rare, Shiranui Spirit Master, Shiranui Samurai as super rares. Then there's Circle of the Fire Kings, Onslaught of the Fire Kings. That's a really good reprint if you guys didn't know. Rivalry of the Warlords and Goes in Match as reprints. I think that those are going to be really powerful. Ultimately, I give this set a 6.5 out of 5. Thunder Dragon's also a reprint. I don't think that this set is at least at first glance, is as dominant as the other monsters, or as the other 3 strategy sets as before. But I do think that the Prank Kids do offer a lot of upside, a lot of potential, and they'll be the best in this set. Especially looking at it, normally the set with the most secret rares is the one that's like the most garbage, and it seems to be the Mayakashi and the Sacred Phoenix, where the Prank Kids take the smallest. So the Prank Kids might be the cards to go to. But thank you guys so much for watching another segment of the TheCaliEffect. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and give it a like. And if you didn't, let us know in the comment section what we could do to be better. Please like, comment, subscribe, but most of all, enjoy. I hope you guys are having a great day like I am.